IBBI sessions. So we have covered session number 1, 2, 3 and 4A. In the sessions number 1, 2, 3, we focused on valuation of real estate and MCQs with concept. From session 4 onwards, we focus on entire syllabus in real examination style. So each session carries 100 marks like we have in the examination. So I have subdivided the session into 4 parts. Like session 4 contains 4 parts like 4A, 4B, 4C, 4D. Each part contains 25 questions. So we have already covered the session number 4A with case studies and explanations. Now we are in session number 4B. This is session number 4B. So the first question: what happens when demand decreases but supply remains constant? So the answer will be price decreases. See, when demand falls and supply remains constant, excess supply pushes the prices down. So the price decreases. Second question: under the Registration Act, the maximum time allowed for presenting the document for registration is? So the answer is 4 months. Which is not the essential element of value: utility, demand, marketability, building permission. See, while dealing with a property, these are the fundamental things. One is dust, second one is habu. So these two are very important for dealing a property. D for demand and U for utility and S for scarcity and T for transferability. So the property location or property construction structure should have high demand. Okay. Utility means it is for commercial or residential, which purpose it is being utilized. Scarcity means it should be rarest of the rare. Transferability means it should have all legal clearance for transfer of the property. Okay, this is dust. What is habu? Habu means highest and best use, and building permissions are not essential for the value. Okay, so this is the correct answer. These are wrong. Okay. Physical deterioration refers to loss due to outdated design, loss due to wear and tear, loss due to neighborhood issues, loss due to legal restrictions, loss due to wear and tear. Statistics. Correlation coefficient ranges between -1 to +1. Professional misconduct includes taking reasonable fees, disclosing client data without consent, performing valuation independently, maintaining valuation records, disclosing client data without consent. A property generates 15 lakh per year net income. Market capitalization is 99%. What is the capitalized value? So, what is the formula for capitalized value? Capitalized value is equal to net operating income by capitalization rate. We have previously discussed it. So the net operating income will be 15 lakh divided by 0.9%. That means yearly he's getting 15 lakhs net operating income and the capitalization rate is 9%. So this 9% is the return on his investment of the value which we are going to calculate now. Okay. So the answer would be how much? So the answer would be 1.66 crore. Easement by necessity arises when property is leased, ownership is transferred with no access, neighborhood dispute boundary, public road is widened. There is a road here. There are two properties. Initially it belongs to one owner. Later the owner has divided this property like this. So he wants to sell this land. This is property A, this is property B. This is okay. Now he is going to sell this land to some other party. So there is no approach for this because other plots are here. There is a continuity for this. Other existing plots are here. So their owners do not accept the having access to B in their land. Okay. So A has to create a access to B. So easement by necessity. It is necessity to create an access, right? And there is no access. So ownership is transferred with no access. Is the correct answer because easement by necessity arises. A has to provide the access like this by necessarily provide the access to B. Okay. Which of the following is real account? Cash account. The term green building refers to building with green paint certified by the for the energy efficiency. Buildings constructed only with mud with rooftop garden only. So with energy efficiency. Adjustment in comparable method is required when comparable is distressed sale. Which principle allows insurer to recover claim amount from the third party? Subrogation. How many years must records be maintained under RERA? 5 years. 2-acre land was sold for 3 crore. Another similar land 10% is superior location advantage. Needs adjustment. What is the adjusted value for this inferior land? See here, understand the problem. We have a land in a location, okay, and another land is there, similar property in another location. So our land is 10% inferior actually because another similar land is having 10% superiority. So if our land is 100% having value, other land, this superior land is having value of 110%, right? So that becomes 1.1 ratio. So there is the ratio is 1 is to 1.1. So this is our present value, present property which we are dealing with. So we have to decide value of this property comparing to this other land which is having 10% superiority more compared to this present property. So this is 1 is to 1.1 is the ratio of comparability. So what will be the value of inferior land, this land? So other land price is how much? 3 crore, right? This value is 3 crore. The property value is 3 crore. So we have to divide this with 1.1 to get the value of our property. So the answer will be how much? 3 crore by 1.1, 2.7 crores. Okay. Yes, purchase at 12% perpetual income is. So this we have discussed in previous sessions. YP is for perpetuality is equal to 1 by capitalization rate. So that becomes 1 by 0.12. So the answers are here. The correct answer would be 8.33. So next question will be, which is not the kind of mortgage? Simple mortgage, conditional sale, usufructory, transfer by inheritance. Transfer by inheritance. The simple mortgage is actually a type of mortgage where the borrower binds himself personally to pay. Okay, this is simple mortgage. This is very simple mortgage actually where the borrower binds himself personally to pay. The property is specifically pledged as security. Okay, the property itself is pledged as security. Borrower means who takes money from the lender. Okay, so the conditional sale. The seller sells the property on the condition that if the loan is repaid by the certain date, the sale becomes void. Okay, this is conditional sale. And usufructuary. The borrower gives possession of the property to the lender, who receives rents and profits from it in the interest or principal for the repayment. So this is that concept. And transfer by inheritance is not a type of a mortgage actually. It is mode of acquiring property through a succession or a will after the owner's passage. Okay, it doesn't involve any debt or security arrangement like that. So the answer would be transfer by inheritance. The promoter must update the project status on RERA portal quarterly. Obsolescence caused by external factors is called, we already discussed it, economic obsolescence. By the way, what is obsolescence actually? What does this term mean? See, obsolescence is the loss in the value and usefulness of the property due to the factors that make it less desirable. Okay, it is a key concept in calculating depreciation or the property value. So first let us discuss economic obsolescence. For instance, I am explaining the types of obsolescence. First one is very famous economic obsolescence. So the main cause for economic depreciation of the land or property is factors external to the property itself, which are beyond the control of the property owner. Just we have discussed previous example. This type of obsolescence is almost always incurable because the owner cannot fix the external problem. Okay, we discussed it actually. There is a property here. By itself, it is very worthy and very desirable. But unfortunately, there is a municipal dump yard declared here by the government, very nearby that. So it cannot be fixed by the property owner, right? Which is not in control of the owner. So that is economic obsolescence. It decreases the value of the property, right? So another examples for economic obsolescence we can discuss. In increasing crime rates or general deterioration of the area. Suppose if there is crime rate is increased in that particular area, obviously that is not under control of the property owner or property association and all. So the value will be decreased. Okay. And construction of a landfill, sewage plant, which creates some foul smell and all. Okay. And heavy industrial site, which delivers bad odor or bad smell like that. All those are external factors which are not under control of the property owner, and they that will be main cause for the declination of the value. So that is economic obsolescence. Okay. Many factors we can discuss like that. Regulation of zones by the governments, new build highways that create excessive noise, divide a community. Okay. Industry is declared, which creates very much noise. Suddenly there is a car repair shed has come here, which creates lot of noise, right? So another obsolescence is functional type. These are the flaws or shortcomings within the property itself. Okay. Economic is external. E for E. E for E. Okay. Remember. Economic is external. Functional is within the property. Because of the issues within the property, functional depreciation, functional obsolescence occurs. So the flaws or shortcomings within the property itself related to the design, layout or features. So it can be either curable or incurable. These are two types: curable or incurable. So the famous examples are outdated design, a closed off segmented floor plan with an era where open concept layouts are preferred. Okay. Inadequate system, old plumbing works, electrical wirings, or lack of central air condition are all curable. Okay. But if the slab height is less, very less, compared to the desired level, okay, which causes discomfort to the residents because of the during construction time they have made the slab very for the lesser height, so which is not curable. Okay, so that is incurable obsolescence, functional obsolescence. And the third one is physical obsolescence. Physical means deterioration. Physical obsolescence means deterioration, the wear and tear on the physical structure and components of the property from age and use. Example, worn out roof leaks, cracked foundations or walls, peeling of paint, worn out carpets, outdated finishes, like that. Okay. So here the question is obsolescence is caused by external factors is called which one? Economic obsolescence. Okay. Mode represents average, middle value, most frequent value, weighted value. Which one? The mode is a statistical measure that represents the value that appears most frequently in the data set. It is one of the measures of central tendency alongside of the mean. Mean means average. Okay. This is what mean. And median. Median is middle value. This is actually average is referring to mean. Middle value refers to median. So most frequent value will be mode. Remember these terms. Average is mean. Middle value is median. Mid. You can remember that. MAD, MED. Just one word changes. One letter changes. Middle value, median. Okay. Most frequent value, mode. Average means we mean it is very famous. We know all that. So what is weighted value? Weighted value refers to the weighted average, where values are adjusted based on their importance or frequency, but it is not the mode. Okay. So the correct answer would be most frequent value. Highest and best use must satisfy all concepts except legally permissible, financially feasible, maximally productive, easily marketable. See, the concept of highest and best use, HABU, is famously called as HABU. And the real estate refers to the most reasonable, legal, profitable use of property that is physically possible, appropriately supported, and financially feasible. Okay. The standard criteria for the determining highest and best use are legally permissible. Must be legally permissible. Okay. And physically possible. See here, legally permissible means the use must be comply with all applicable laws, zoning regulations, municipality bylaws, and all legal restrictions. Okay, should comply with all those requirements. Then only comes under HABU. And the second one is physically possible. That means physically possible. The property must have the physical characteristics like size, shape, topography to support the use. Okay. And third one is financially feasible. Financially feasible. This is physically possible. This is legally permissible. Okay. So, and fourth one is there, maximally productive. So these are 4 important characteristics of Habu, highest and best use. So what is, we already discussed it, it's legally permissible and physically possible. Okay. Then what is functionally feasible, financially feasible? The use must generate sufficient income or value to justify the investment. Okay. Should have return on the investment, right? Covering costs and providing reasonable returns and all. And it should cover all the overheads and investments put on that property. Okay. And the fourth one is maximally productive. What it is? The use must yield the highest possible value or return on investment compared to other potential uses. So what will be the answer? Legally permissible, the Habu highest and best use must satisfy all except legally permissible, it is satisfying. Financially feasible, it is satisfying. Maximum productivity is satisfying. Okay, so it is not easily marketable. Habu contains legally permissible, physically possible, financially feasible, maximally productive. Easily marketable means it comes under promotion. So it doesn't refer to Habu. Okay, the answer would be easily marketable. This will be the correct answer. Okay. Here is a negative question actually. Highest and best use must satisfy all except. So which one is not referring to Habu? We discussed the points which covers the Habu. Legally permissible, physically possible, financially feasible, maximally productive. Okay. The value or accepting a gift from the client violates integrity. A building has a replacement cost of 80 lakhs, age 20 years, the total life is 50 years. What is straight line depreciation? What is the formula for depreciation? Age by total life. So age will be 20, total life will be 50. This will be how much? 40%. So this is a diversion factor. Don't get diverted with this. The answer would be C. Annuity factor for 10 years at 10% approximately. We previously discussed thoroughly regarding this annuity factor and all. So annuity factor, years purchase factor, present value factor. Okay. So what is the formula for this? PV is 1 minus 1 plus R whole power minus N by R. So R is the discount rate. That means calculation rate 10%. N is the number of years, a number of payments done. So the PV would be how much? 1 minus 1 plus 0.1 whole power minus 10 by 0.1. So the answer would be how much? 6.14. We previously discussed thoroughly what is the annuity factor. See here, actually understand the question. A person purchased a property, right? There is a plot A. The person X purchased this. So X is going to get a return of 1 rupee every year. So for 10 years is the span. So 10 years is a span. So what is the investment he has to put? Keeping a view, anticipating view. It is a anticipating view. So it is not, no, it is a future upcoming return per year from this property for 10 years. So what would be the value of this property? What is the interest of A? Interest means not principal and interest. It is a worth of A, worth for A. What is the worth for A to buy this? Anticipating return of 1 rupee per year for 10 years. That is annuity factor. Okay. So that would be 6.14 rupees. 6.14 rupees he has to pay for that property to purchase or to take for lease, whatever. So anticipating the future income, future net profit. Net, this is 1 rupee is net profit. Net profit or net operating income of 1 rupee per year for 10 years. So he has to put 6.14 rupees in advance before 10 years, in the beginning only, anticipating the profit, net profit or net operating income of 1 rupee per year. That is a concept. Okay. Who can create an easement? Tenant, owner of property, court or any neighbor. Owner of property. A comparable property is sold for 90 lakhs. It is 5% superior to subject property. So what would be the value, adjusted price? We discussed a similar question above. So the answer would be 1.05 because 100% is 1 and 5% superior is 105%. That will become 1.05. So if we divide 90 lakhs by 1.05, how much? 85.714. So the correct answer would be A. Okay, understand the question. The comparable property is sold for 90 lakhs. It is superior to subject property because the property which you are dealing right now, which you are interested to calculate the value, is inferior to comparable property. How much? 5% inferior, not superior. The comparable property is superior to the property which you are dealing and which you are asked to calculate the present value. So we have to adjust the price comparing to that. Then we have to divide the value of the comparable property with this adjustment. How much? It is 5% superior means we should divide 90 lakhs by 1.05. So the answer would be 85.5 lakhs. So that's all for session 4B. We'll meet again in session 4C. If you have any doubts and clarification, please comment in the box. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.